Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 100 survival facts that might save your life one day. If you have any useful survival tips, please sound off in the comments. Who knows, it might save somebody's life. Don't cross a river unless you can confirm that the water is shallow and slow. If the water exceeds jogging pace, find another way around. You've been taken hostage, and your captor is tying you up. Tighten your muscles so the ties will be loose when you relax, making it easier to escape. If there's a fire, air conditioning can increase the spread of smoke. If you don't really need it, turn AC off before you go to sleep. If you want to store water for emergencies, keep it in BPA-free 55-gallon barrels made of food-grade plastic. Store no less than 1.5 gallons of water per person per day, 0.5 of which should go towards cooking and cleanliness. You can extend the shelf life of food using oxygen absorbers. Label unpackaged food with purchase dates and leftovers in Tupperware with preparation and expiration dates. Camping and worried about intruders? You can use string or fishing line and tin cans to create a tripwire alarm around the perimeter of your campsite. You might have even seen this trick on The Walking Dead. You can leave a sticker on the outside of your home alerting prowlers that you have a security system. Don't specify what kind of system though, as that'll make it easier to disarm. Always check the peephole before answering the door, even if you're expecting company. You never know who could be on the other side or what they're carrying.
There's two of them. One of them's got a gun. Did you pay the gas bill?
Make sure to filter and purify water from rivers or streams before drinking. If you don't have purification tablets, boil water for 10 minutes in a metal container and let it cool. You can sharpen a knife using a coffee mug, leather belt, smooth stones, or even a nail file. If birds and insects are nearby, as opposed to only reptiles, water is likely within reach. When out of matches, reading glasses and the sun can spark a campfire.
We gotta find a way to light a fire.
No problem. We can use Scaredy's glasses.
Hey! What's he doing?
If an RV is out of your price range, a four-wheel drive SUV is the next best option for shelter, storage, and transportation. A riot has broken out with you stuck in the middle. Avoid contact with aggressors, keep your head down, and calmly move toward the nearest exit. Fire is spreading through your house. As you make your way to the closest exit, close every door you go through, thus slowing the fire down. Moisture and high temperatures are bad for medications, so it's actually not a great idea to keep them in your bathroom's ironically named medicine cabinet. A prepared wilderness explorer keeps first aid gear in easily accessible outside pockets for immediate action. Acting in self-defense, aim for your attacker's eyes, throat, or chin. If their head is out of reach, the knees and groin are also vulnerable areas. A wide variety of household items can function as self-defense weapons, from pens to coffee pots to even bathrobe belts. Pepper spray can be an effective self-defense weapon, but if an attacker is just 2 or 3 feet away, it can blow back into your own eyes, especially if the wind is working against you.
I never thought I'd have to use this pepper spray. Woo! Somebody help me!
If you don't know the emergency number while traveling overseas, dialing 112 can get you immediate help in most places, especially European countries. If a tornado isn't moving to the right or the left, it could be moving straight for you. Seek the nearest shelter, ideally without windows. Take 4 turns if you think the car behind you is following you. If they're still on your tail after the 4th turn, call authorities and drive to the nearest police station rather than home. Don't turn any lights on or off if you smell gas in the house, as this can trigger an explosion. When being chased by bees or wasps, don't jump into the water because they'll just wait for you to come up for air. Just keep running as far from their hive as possible. When an object is stuck in a wound, don't remove it. Call the authorities and apply pressure until they arrive.
Do I take it out or do I leave it in? Do I take it out or do I leave it in? Ah!
A pack of wolves has confronted you at close range. Instead of running away and inviting a chase, firmly stand your ground until they, hopefully, leave. If you're struggling to find a water source, try dried up riverbeds, sand dune troughs, or beach high tide marks. Carve a makeshift spade from a branch and dig a hole a few feet deep. If water seeps in, collect, filter, and boil for drinking.
Nice. Muddy water, but it's water.
Rather than explore the wilderness alone, bring along a canine companion to combat loneliness and alert you to predators and prey. If your temperature reaches 103 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 39.4 degrees Celsius, seek medical help. This goes double for young children and adults over 50. While choking alone in your house, don't hesitate to call 911. Whether or not you can talk, the dispatcher should recognize the situation as they hear you attempting to cough up the object. You're lost, and the sun is setting. Don't run aimlessly in hopes of stumbling upon civilization. You're better off staying in one spot once it gets dark. If your flashlight runs out of batteries, you can make a torch by splitting the end of a branch, stuffing birch spark into the split, and lighting it. Emergency blankets can be used to reflect the sun's heat away. They can also reflect heat from a campfire toward you. By pouring water into the corner of a plastic bag or bottle, you can make a magnifying glass to start a campfire.
We've only been at this for a minute or two, and the amount of smoke we're seeing there is pretty significant.
To conserve body heat, stuff your clothes with dry leaves. You can make a little stove by cutting off the base of a soda can with some additional tweaks and a fuel source. Tie clothing around your legs and walk through long grass to absorb the dew. Wring the clothes into a bottle to collect the liquid. Tinfoil can be used to craft a bowl, which in turn can be used to heat water. Rubbing crab apples on wounds can help tighten the surrounding skin and blood vessels. When choosing a campsite, avoid hilltops exposed to wind and rain. Look instead for flat, dry ground with rocks, hills, or trees to shield you, ideally close to wood for fire and a river for water and fishing. Just because animals are eating leaves and fungi doesn't necessarily mean they're safe for humans. Don't eat anything you're not 150% sure about. Daisies are generally safe to eat, with the flower even being used to brew tea. If you extend an imaginary line through the two stars at the front of the Big Dipper's cup, it will point you to the North Star. When stranded somewhere, items you'd usually throw away can be used as survival tools, so don't be eager to discard paper wrappers, used dental floss, paper clips, and other junk. PACE is an acronym for Primary, Alternate, Contingency, and Emergency. This communication plan applies to various survival scenarios, even being used by the US military. When stocking food for an emergency, you should prioritize canned foods, given their long shelf life.
Look at that piece of a biscuit right on the top. I can't help it.
If there's a shortage of cleaning supplies, baking soda can be used for dirty laundry, dishes, and tiles. FIFO, or First In, First Out, is another acronym to live by. When storing food, the first items to go in are generally the first to be consumed. Just because you're home doesn't mean that somebody won't try to break in, so consider keeping doors and windows locked regardless. Your home address number should be clearly visible outside so that authorities can find your residence during an emergency. Rather than just leaving your porch lights on to deter burglars, consider installing motion sensors that can suddenly turn lights on when someone intrudes. For an extra layer of protection, make sure your front door has double-cylinder deadbolts. It'll be harder for a burglar to come through a sliding glass door or window if you stick a dowel rod in there. If you leave music or the TV on when you leave the house, potential intruders are more likely to believe it's occupied. Before you leave on a hike, let someone know your route and expected return time.
Help! I'm in the canyon! Help! Help!
When trying to keep a low profile in the wild, fire is inclined to attract attention.
Put it out, you fools! Put it out! That's nice.
Stick to eating canned foods, and instead of burning your waste, take the cat hole route. You can often find food by heading to the nearest body of water. At least, there's likely to be fish there. You never know when you might need a Silcock key. In addition to water taps, they can be used to access electrical cabinets and gas supplies. Your go-to sneakers might get you through a walk in the park, but you'll need a light, comfortable pair of hiking boots to traverse the wilderness and avoid blisters. If caught in a wildfire while driving, park in an area without vegetation. Make sure all windows are closed, wrap yourself with a blanket or jacket on the floor, and call the authorities. Just as you shouldn't hide in a fridge during a nuclear explosion, the same goes for tornadoes, earthquakes, and other disasters. Indiana Jones may survive, but you probably won't. You might even get trapped inside and suffocate. Honey isn't just a sweet treat, but thanks to its antibacterial nature, it can treat wounds. When hiking or camping, bring portable power banks to recharge your phone. When given a daunting endeavor, think it through one step at a time rather than diving in headfirst. Bunkers aren't always as effective as you think. If there's a gas leak, a fire, or a relentless human intruder, your safe haven may become a tomb. In case your phone can't get a connection, be sure to have maps and survival guides downloaded. Spitting can save your life when buried in an avalanche. Wherever gravity takes your saliva, dig in the opposite direction to freedom. In snowy backcountry areas, travel in a group and carry avalanche kits. A kit typically includes a tracker beacon, probe, and shovel in case of an avalanche. When confronted by a mountain lion, turning your back on it is an invitation for pouncing. Instead, calmly walk backward.
No! You, dude. Holy...
It might not be the most exciting topic, but latrines are crucial in the wild. Building a good latrine can keep diseases, bugs, and even bears away from your camp. Dig a trench 2 feet deep in a spot downwind, at least 200 feet from your campsite and water sources. Cover your business with earth after each use. It's worth the effort. If a power line falls near you, put your legs together and hop away like a bunny rather than run. This can prevent electricity from traveling up one leg and down the other. Tent pegs may be used as a canteen or pot holder, allowing you to boil the water inside. When boiling water in a canteen, placing tinfoil on the lid can speed up the process. Urine might be liquid, but drinking it won't rehydrate you. If anything, it'll make you dehydrated faster. It shouldn't be your first option, but alcohols can treat wounds if they have proof of 150 or more. A zipper can be converted into a fishhook. Just tear off the handle, break the loop open, move the loose ends 90 degrees, and use a rock to sharpen the tip. You probably know to keep electronics in a waterproof bag, but water can render compasses useless as well if they're not waterproof. Don't jump into a lake with one. Used shotgun shells can be melted down to form new items, such as arrowheads and seals. Whether used to patch up a hole in a tent, reseal food packages, or wrap a sprained ankle, duct tape is a multi-purpose survival tool. If you wake up to a red sky, a storm is likely on the horizon. Moss grows away from light, meaning it's inclined to grow on the north surface of trees. Think of it as nature's compass. If your friend gets bitten by a snake, don't suck out the venom like in the movies. Get them to a safe area, have them lie down with the wound below the heart, and seek medical attention.
Man, I ain't sucking nothing.
Okay, I'll do it.
What? Oh, there'll be no sucking. Man, Troy, get this man away from my ass.
Even if it's not projected to rain, waterproofing your backpack with the proper lining will keep you a step ahead of all weather conditions. Avoid hiking and camping wearing cotton. Once it's soaked up your sweat, it won't be drying anytime soon, and you'll be out in the cold. If your arm is broken in the wild, your t-shirt can be converted into a temporary arm sling. You're being pursued, but your keys are locked in your car. Bust the window open with any nearby blunt objects. Aim for the edges, where the glass will shatter more easily. Unlock the door, start the car, and hit the gas. You're in your tent at night when you hear something snuffling outside. To keep critters, including bears, away from your camp, keep it clean. And don't store food in your tent. Hang it in a bag 200 feet away on a branch 15 feet above the ground. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. You can add emergency contact and medical information to your phone's lock screen. This is especially helpful if you're too weak to call an ambulance yourself and somebody is around to help. To minimize blood clotting while having a heart attack, chewing aspirin is more effective than swallowing it. When stuck in a tight situation, a paracord or parachute cord can be utilized to make a ladder. Faraday cages can be used to block electromagnetic radiation, such as from an EMP. They can be made with plastic wrap and aluminum foil. When somebody near you is being electrocuted, don't touch them, or else you'll be in store for a shock as well. If you can't turn off the electrical source, attempts to push them from the current with a long wooden stick. Vinegar and water can relieve pain when enduring a nasty sunburn.
We're not.
Snow blindness is like getting sunburned on your eyes. If you're stranded in the snow without sunglasses, rubbing charcoal beneath your eyes can reduce reflection. If there isn't enough food for 3 meals a day, eat at night to keep you warm. If water gets in your waterproof shoes, heat some rocks and put them inside the footwear to dry them off. Air conditioning broken? MacGyver one with a styrofoam case, ice cubes, and a fan.
Won't this overload the motor?
Marge, can you set the oven to cold?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.